Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today for Lunch with Gina. I mean, it's the start of a new year, and because of that, I'm really super excited about some amazing events that are going to be going on this month, January 2018. In particular, a New York City book discussion and signing of the Guidebook for White Women Who Teach Black Boys. The energy around it. Okay, Allie. Allie's showing the book. Say something. Say hi, Allie. I think that.
Hi, everybody. Just want to make sure you can picture what we're talking about here.
That is the guidebook, available right now for purchase. But you got to show up and understand why you need to read this book from cover to cover. If you've already read it, great. If you come into the event to get in and read it for the first time, again, you've got to read it from cover to cover. January 23rd. Which is a Thursday in New York City at Lamont Manhattan School. Put this on your calendar. I want to get it out there now. You need to be in the room, educators, parents, to hear from two phenomenal folks for sure and other contributors to this amazing guidebook. So I want to, again, make sure you write that down, January 23rd. There'll be a link to register at the bottom of this video. And we're really delighted to have two of the authors with us today. Eddie Moore Jr. Say hi, Eddie.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And Ali Michael.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. They're both educational leaders who do a tremendous amount of work and research around leadership training as it pertains to privilege and diversity and social justice. And I'm just really honored to have them both here. They're done some tremendous work, research in this book. So Brother Eddie, I want to thank you. Sister Ali, I want to thank you. And I'm calling you my sister and brother really because you all understand my truth as a mom of a boy of color, right? And you also speak truth to power through the research that you're doing to make sure that they have really the chances that they deserve to have as it relates to education. So without further ado, let me ask you all the questions. Again, I want to thank you both for the book. Why are we here, Eddie? Why, I mentioned the Black boys, but why are we here?
Well, the way that I've been saying this to people and the way I'll say it to your audience is I feel like we're in a real crisis, a national, if not global crisis when it comes to the future of Black boys in education. And I used to be in a narrow framework of public education, but I think what the research is showing is these gaps expand across public and private education. So for me, really, why we're here is really to take a direct and challenging and honest look at the persisting gaps when it comes to educating Black boys. And I think looking not only public, but also private, looking not only small town, but big city, and giving right now, excited to be given the opportunity to start in such a place like New York City. But we're really here to grapple with a really tough topic that what I'm asking the audience, can we stand the next 25 years of results, achievement gaps that we've seen in the previous 25 years? And I'm not saying this book is the be all end all. I mean, we've worked hard to provide some really great resources here, but I'm not, so ambitious and so bold to say that this is it. But I do feel like we're here today, we're here around this book project to say, at least here's something we believe can get us started. And here's something that we hope and believe can make a difference, because we can't stand the same results of the previous 25 years over the next 25 years.
Mm-hmm. The response to this event on the 23rd, I think, has been tremendous. Particularly with parents. I have a lot of parents, clearly educators are registering for this event, but I do have a lot of parents who, again, this book resonates. I think we all have this innate feeling of wanting to protect our Black boys in particular. I have a Black boy and I have a Black girl, and they experience education a little bit differently. And so again, I thank you. So Ali, tell us what the research has shown. You all did a lot of research with this book. You have a lot of contributors. What is it showing?
Well, the research that we see is fascinating because I think it speaks to the gaps that Eddie's talking about. And as we have tried to promote the book, we've tried to be really clear that we're not trying to create a deficit narrative about Black boys, but we're trying to create a deficit narrative about the system that serves Black boys, and to demonstrate that the gaps are not gaps that come from Black families or Black boys themselves, but come from a persistent system that has been built to serve and educate white middle-class children. And so even in promoting the book, it was a struggle not to put out a narrative about how much Black boys are failing, and instead to say this is systemic failure, that less than 2% of protagonists in children's books are Black boys. So how many books are there for Black boys that are really going to draw them in as children if they're not seeing themselves in those texts? That 85% of the teachers in the US are white. And so with those numbers, there's just an incredible amount of, like, the gap there is the culture gap, the community gap, the parent-teacher gap, the understanding gap. There's this giant gap between what teachers know and understand and what their students need them to know. I grew up as a white person in a community where I was socialized to be colorblind. And as I work with educators across the country, I find that I'm not the only one, that most white educators were socialized to be colorblind, not to see race. So not only do we not understand the particular obstacles that our Black male students are up against, we can't even see that they have any different obstacle than any of our other students, because most of us as white educators have been socialized to be colorblind. So that's a really key piece. The whole first third of the book is on understanding, and it's about understanding self. It's about understanding yourself and how you were socialized as a white woman. So this isn't a guide that's going to teach you everything you need to know about Black boys, even though it does a lot of that. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself as a white woman and how your race and gender matter in your relationship with your students.
So speaking of 85% of educators are white women, I thought it was around 65, so 85.
No, you're right. It's 65% white women, 85% white teachers.
Okay, great. Well, even with that, this book is just not for white women, right, Eddie? I mean, you think about it, if 65% of educators are white women, they are teaching future educators that could be educators of color, right? So there's got to be some parallels and similarities that still may stem from the fact that there's 65%, white women who are teaching. But there's another audience here that needs to be in that room, right, Eddie?
Absolutely. I think the way I talk about it with folks is this book is really for people working with Black boys, loving Black boys, caring about Black boys, concerned about Black boys, and that spreads the gamut from teachers, preachers, to keynote speakers, that we really, I think, as we grapple with this challenge, we really have to come together across a variety of identities, including white teachers, but not just white teachers. We're talking some of these gaps, some of these challenges associated with Black boys are not solely at the hands of white teachers. And so we have definitely got to have some honest conversations about the work that teachers of colors, administrators of colors, leaders of color. We also got to think about white parents who may be adopting Black boys. We got to really challenge and take a look at coaches and people working with Black boys across athletics or in the theater or in music. We also got to be looking at really the role that possibly siblings or even Black parents themselves, because what I have been discovering as a parent of a Black boy going back through the book is some of the things that we're laying out that Black boys are saying, my son may say to me, but he may not. He may not have the skills to do so.
Sure.
So the book is really helping me to maybe have some questions, to develop some questions. to develop some inquiry related to my son, the teachers, the counselors. So we really feel like, and I just can't say this enough, that the book really addresses the issues facing Black boys, but it's really for everyone, loving them, teaching them, coaching them, so on and so forth.
Great. I'm so excited about the 23rd. Again, don't forget to register. So talk to us, both of you, about how this will all make a difference. What tools, what resources does the book provide? I love the fact that there are a lot of voices, there are a lot of different contributors, right? It's so we have different angles to come at it or approach it. How will it make a difference in the classroom? How will it make a difference at home? How will it make a difference for our Black boys? The research that you've come up and the different tools that the book offers. Either one.
You first, Allie. I had the last voice.
All right. So this book has 70 contributors in terms of writing, and some of the pieces are chapters and they have more research in them, and some of them are vignettes and they're people's stories. But we also have video clips from interviews with 50 different people that are accessible through the back of the book, and they're linked to all of the chapters. So we have over 120 voices of individuals, most of whom are Black men or people who love Black men, moms, partners, and then we also have some white women teachers as well who are contributing lots of different perspectives, because we're trying to say there's not like one Black male experience, that there's a massive diversity of experiences, and we want to try to be clear that while there are certain challenges that Black boys face because of their race and gendered position in our society, there's just millions of different variations on that experience. I think, honestly, each chapter has activities for people to do afterwards to help process the material in the chapter. I think if this book does nothing else, what it's going to do is help educators see that Black boys are not just like all of their other students, that they face a particular challenge that's related to the way education was established in the US from the very beginning. I think it will radically, fundamentally change their perspective on how important Black teachers are. And that I'm hoping that it'll lead teachers to be better allies to their Black colleagues, that it'll make them better advocates for recruiting Black educators and supporting Black educators. That there's certain things that white teachers actually can't do. That we as white educators have so many barriers to understanding the Black experience, or Black experiences, the Black experiences of our students, that we need to work in allyship and connection with our Black colleagues. And I mean, that's the very work that Eddie and I have been doing, along with our co-editor Marguerite, trying to figure out, we all have vastly different perspectives, and we need each of us, we need all of our input. And it can be easy to really sideline one point of view, and then it doesn't work. We have to work together. But I'm hoping that what this book does is will just shift people in their hearts in terms of how they understand the locus of the problem, how they see themselves as part of the problem, and how they shift the way that they might be part of the solution.
Yeah. You know, the only thing I can add to that, Gina, is this book is not a book a teacher reads and they're done with it. The idea here is it's a guide, it's a map, so to speak, that once you reach one destination, hopefully you have a hunger, a desire to go somewhere else, or you'll be facing something else and need additional guide, additional help, uncharted territory, whether it's the N-word or whether it's behaviors or whether it's a genius of a Black boy at the first grade level. So again, I think the way that I say it to people is this is the Google experience, that if you're facing any challenge, you're having any concern, or you're having any phenomenal experience with a Black boy and you need assistance processing it, you can now Google it. Allie, if you can flash the book again, that'd be really great. This is, again, anything you need, you can now Google it by turning to the guide. So we're hoping teachers, educators, the way this book makes a difference is now they have something in their desk that when something comes up, it's not, what do I do? I don't know what to do. They can at least turn to something now to say, hey, maybe there's some answers here. And so my hope, my goal is this is a 25-year project, that this book will give us a good 5 years of guidance. And we're already thinking about the edited edition after this, because what I'm finding and what I'm realizing with my own life and my son's life, I mean, it just changes every day, every month, every year. So we realize there's going to be some things evolving and a part of the world that Black boys and the world that we live in general. So what I would say to folks interested in this book project, interested in the book event, is you're going to be really bringing into your life something that'll be good for the rest of your life. That's how I would look at it. That's how I think this book is going to make a difference, is it'll be there like an encyclopedia. Or as we often do when we're stumped on a question, now we can Google it. And Google's going to be there forever. And that's the hope here.
Yeah, what a great resource. And again, I'm super excited because parents need this resource as well. We are, I think, among the first educators for our kids. And we're also educators for the educators of our children. We have to be able to show up, recognize the issues, celebrate the wonderful transitions, all of that. And so I'm glad that all of us will be coming into the room. There'll be a diversity of people who care and love Black boys, care about and love Black boys. And I just want to say again to both of you all and to all of the contributors, thank you so much. You two are rock stars in the educational world for sure. And because again, you speak, you're courageous and you speak truth to power. And what a great resource. So January 23rd, Allie will be there. Eddie will be there. Other contributors will be in the room. We'll also have a link at the bottom in addition to RSVPing for the event at Lamont, Manhattan, 6 p.m. Thursday, January 23rd, a link to the book. So you can purchase the book on site, get it signed. We're going to have a discussion. So join us. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Gina.
I really appreciate you all and the work that you're doing. And we'll be tweeting and on social media about it as well. Thank you, Eddie, for jumping in a few times. We've had some interesting feedback. I'm telling you that there's a nice buzz out there. There's a really nice buzz because the work is so important and it's so resourceful. Have a great day.
All right, peace. Thank you.
See you soon. Okay, bye.
Bye.